So I want to start the podcast by welcoming back our Google Play listeners because it's been...
Did they go anywhere?
So out of the loop. So Richard Plum from Learn Me Something podcast let me know that our episodes weren't showing up on Google Play. And it was like 4 episodes, I think. And then this past Sunday, all of a sudden we had like a huge spike in downloads on Sunday on a holiday weekend, which never happens. And I found out that all of the Google Play episodes finally appeared. So if you guys are listening to this on Google Play, welcome back because it's been a while.
You've been missed.
Yeah, seriously. And we did try to work on it weeks ago and just unfortunately was stuck in Google Play's queue. So anyways, just wanted to say welcome back and we're glad that you returned even though it's been weeks since you've seen our podcast.
Well, they don't see our podcast. They listen to the podcast.
They see the podcast pop up in their feed.
Right.
Darling. Anyways, so this week's movie is Earth Girls Are Easy.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Shay, and this is Cinematically Correct. This was my choice. I'm embarrassed to say that.
Yes. It was a bit of a rude awakening realizing that it's a comedy musical.
Oh, no. The exact genre from Wikipedia was, hold on, let me get it. Let's see. Musical, romantic, comedy, science fiction film.
Yeah, it was none of those things.
Okay, let's stop being critical, but of that genre, can you think of other movies that fit that genre? Because I'm just curious.
Little Shop of Horrors?
I mean, I guess there is romance in it. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. The only thing I saw referenced a lot when talking about this film was my stepmom was an alien. Apparently, people are saying it's basically this movie, but gender's reversed. So, I've never seen the movie, never heard of the movie, but it's referenced a lot when you read about this movie.
Really? I didn't read it at all when I did the research.
We all know who does more research.
Yes, thank you for that.
You're
in a condescending tone.
No problem. Always here to help.
So, you want to give a brief recap of the movie?
I mean, I'll try. It's really one of those movies I don't actually know what happened. But essentially, Geena Davis is a manicurist, and her fiance, I gathered, I think. Fiance, boyfriend, something.
Fiance.
Okay.
They were planned to get married, so far as
we could tell. He cheated on her.
Didn't actually cheat on her, but he's not a very good person.
Well, do we believe him? He says all he did was make a winky face at a nurse, but he also bring a girl into the house. I don't know what I believe. Regardless,
well, that was the nurse, though.
Well, right, but we don't know. Regardless, he did some questionable things. She kicked him out. She had a little temper tantrum, hung out by the pool, and while she was at the pool, an alien spacecraft crashed into her pool, and they became her friends for the movie, I guess.
It was her entourage.
Yeah. She was calling it a band to blend in and be Earth-like. It was a very odd thing. It was kind of a musical, but there was only 2 songs.
Yeah, it was not really a musical.
Sometimes there was musical interludes that I thought was going to be a song, and then it wasn't.
It was weird. I think that was cutting room floor, Chop Shop.
Maybe.
Place, because, I mean...
Because it, started up the music, and you're like, all right, we're going into a bop, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Well, I think that's where the I'm a Blonde or 'Cause I'm a Blonde song comes from, because they needed to fill space, so they taped that afterwards.
Yes, that was... I read that in one of the trivia that happened, but there's just so many parts in the movie where you're like, what happened?
I have to say, I was basically speechless for the majority of this movie.
Right, so we should start at the beginning, just to see if we can make some sense of it.
That's a tall order. This movie, there are no words. They're just,
Okay, but let's try. So, she was a manicurist. She worked at Curl Up and Dye, which I will give you 10 points for punny.
Well done. I mean... And
apparently, it's not the first time that name has been shown. And
really?
It is actually a real salon, not there, but it does exist.
Well, it's a genius name.
It is. It's wonderful. So, anyways, the girl that she works with in Curl Up and Die looks so familiar, but I looked up her IMDb and
she's not in anything. You had said it was Helen Bonham Carter.
Well, that's what I thought. That face looked like that, and I wonder why.
Similar, I will give you. I will definitely concede that she looks Helen Bonham Carter-ish.
Well, and you got to remember, too, that we're looking at these actors and trying to de-age what we know. So
yes.
We're accounting for that, too, when we're looking at this.
Yes.
But
this movie came out 2 years after I was born.
It was the year I was born.
Yes, for those of you who are surprised by that, no one is surprised at that. She's younger than I am.
Nobody's surprised by that. Nobody. The amount of how much younger I am, people are surprised by, but, Silver Fox.
Or the lack of the amount.
Right, that's what I mean. But anyway, so they have like the whole work thing was weird. Like, she showed up late and it was very
she apparently can't get fired from that job, which makes it a great job to have.
Right,
like,
it was a very weird...
She can afford a house with a pool on a manicure salary in Los Angeles?
The doctor, her husband was a doctor.
All right, I mean, that does make more sense.
Yeah. We don't know what kind of doctor. I don't think they mentioned that.
Well, he was in the ER, so he was...
So he's an ER doctor?
An ER doctor, I would guess.
Okay, we're just going to pigeonhole him there. That's fine by me.
Well, he's a terrible person. That's where we see him in the hospital later in the movie.
Right. Okay, so it moves into him basically cheating on her.
Bringing over a nurse because he expects her to be out of town at some kind of beauty...
Oh, right. I'm sorry. We skipped over them in bed talking... Because that whole situation was weird, right? It was weird. It wasn't just me as a female thinking that whole thing was weird.
No, because she definitely did some very forward things with her hands, and he didn't want to have sex with her. I
need to know. Does this happen? Like, okay, in a world, if this happens, I will murder you, but in a world where you were cheating on me, or thinking about cheating on me, or whatever. Wait, hold on. I just realized this. Hold the phone.
Wait, no,
we
what?
said he didn't cheat. We said that he didn't cheat. He only did a winky face. But in that scene, he had a hickey on his neck that he was covering up to go into bed.
You're very correct in that.
I missed that. So he did cheat on her.
Yeah, he's full of it, and he's lying.
Hindsight is 20/20. Anyway, sorry, I literally just realized that.
And it sets up this whole scene because the only explanation is that he had just come from somewhere else and had extracurricular activities with a different woman.
I'm sorry, but I know a lot of men. All of my friends are men. And I know for almost a fact that I don't care if you went and had sex with somebody else. If I did all of those things with my hands, when you coming after, say 20 minutes after having sex with her, you would try your damnedest to have sex with me too. I'm sorry, you would. You might not succeed. I'm not saying your parts will succeed.
I would succeed. I mean, there's a refractory period, but it's usually only like
But you're telling me you would reject me.
No, God, no.
I don't even care if you're not even attracted to me anymore.
No.
I'm a female, and I'm coming on to you.
No, I can't see... In the infinite universes that exist, I can't see a situation where I would parallel those actions.
It doesn't make sense to me. It almost felt like they were doing the male-female role reversed in this, because I can see a woman doing that. That I can understand, but not a man.
Yeah, and can we talk about the length of time that they hadn't done anything?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
2 weeks.
I mean, whew, man, that's rough.
The end of all time. That's the longest a human can possibly go, according to this movie.
So, okay, so let's pause for a second. I just gotta... Was this time period... So this was the 80s. Not the 60s, right? Like, this isn't like the free love, like, whole thing.
I honestly don't have an answer.
Because this was like a very sexual movie that I did not anticipate.
The title is Earth Girls Are Easy, darling. It's basically a porno title.
It's basically a porno without the porn. It surprised me the amount of sexual, like, innuendos and
not subtle.
No, not
commentary.
Subtle. And then the creepy... Okay, we can't get there, but there's a creepy sex scene that I can't even wrap my head around. Like, okay, moving on. I just, my brain.
So he brings the nurse home, and he's the biggest moron in the world. Because her car is in the driveway.
Okay, but in his defense, I have gone away before, and, like, you would drop me off at the train station or something, and my car would still be there. So maybe, like, he thought her mom dropped her off at a plane or something. I don't know.
Yes, but wouldn't I be the person to drop you off at the train station?
Well, what happens if I had to go to a 12 o'clock train and you were already at work? So maybe I had somebody else drop me off.
Well, yes, but there's still some plan in place. Like, I would know whether or not you're being dropped off or whether you're leaving your car there.
Okay, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt that she surprised him. She said she was dropped off.
I mean, I guess he's a doctor, but damn, that sounds stupid.
Okay, but you are a guy, and I feel like I could get that over on you. But anyway, moving on. So yes, he's dumb. And he's also dumb that he, like, where did he get in his, was he just, like, have shorts on or boxers or something? Where did he do that? Was it in the kitchen? Because that's how it felt in the movie.
I think it was the bedroom.
Okay, so the bedroom's in the front of the house?
I don't know.
That doesn't generally happen. Because he did it, like, right in that front room, and I'm like, well,
he popped out of a side room from somewhere.
In the front of the house, though, right next to the door.
I don't know.
It was very strange.
It was, but, I mean, it was just an unnecessary, well, it was part of the movie, but it was just, like, that scene did not have to happen that way.
No, it was a very weird
It was kind of weird and awkward.
You thought her lingerie was weird.
It was very frilly. I don't understand what...
You said, and I quote, is it lingerie, though? Because it's a one piece.
It looked like a one-piece bathing suit. It didn't look all that sexy at all.
So, I guess we can let everybody know that he has apparently never seen lingerie because there's plenty of one-piece lingerie. Plenty.
It was not... It looked more like a bathing suit than lingerie.
It looked like what are those things called where they push up the boobs?
A bustier?
No. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's
push-up bra?
No. But regardless.
Corset?
Yes, corset, thank you. They looked like a one-piece corset, which I do think are attractive, but not so practical when you're trying to have, intercourse because it's kind of awkward to get off. I mean, unless they have, like, Velcro or something, it's just awkward.
Yes, because nothing says sexy like Velcro. Great.
That'd be the best sound effect ever.
No.
Okay, anyway, moving on from sex, because, anyway, so she realizes that he's trying to cheat.
And she kicks him out and then destroys her own house.
So... the kicking out part, I want to just talk about that for a second. So she kicks him out, and I was like, yes, go girl, you kicked him out, good for you. And then she cries, and I'm like, and wanted him to, like, not leave. And I'm like, but you kicked him out. And girls do this all the time. They're like, get out of my house. And it's like, no, but don't actually go. Like,
it's the most infuriating
but
goddamn thing ever.
Why do women do that? Especially when
you're a woman. You answer that question.
So
I've not been able to... No, I'm not going to be held accountable for answering this question. No.
I can understand it when you're having, like, a fight that's, like, not a real fight. Like, you're fighting over the dishes or you're fighting over whatever and you say something stupid. But when somebody does something that terrible...
Why would I want to do the dishes?
Oh, boy, we are not on the breakup. We are not on the breakup. If you want to listen to that podcast, go back and listen to it. But we're on this one. And all I'm saying is, in this situation, why would she want him to stay? Well, I don't understand. Why would she be sad? He's a scoundrel.
Because she's still sad that the relationship is now functionally over.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's the best answer I got.
It was a very confusing situation, but...
she had every right to kick him out, and it was the best choice.
Now, did she have every right to destroy the house?
Well, it's her house. Their house.
It's their house. Destroying property is illegal, isn't it?
Not if it's your own stuff. There's no...
But she, like, destroyed the computer. Like, if I do destroy your computer, I don't think that's, like, legal, even though, like, technically it's ours now.
Well, I would not be happy with you, clearly, but I don't think it's a crime. I'd have to press charges.
Well, right, and you wouldn't win.
Well, even if I did win, I'd have to go through the effort of filing a police report, all of that stuff, and saying my crazy fiance broke my $3,000 computer or whatever it is.
With a bowling ball. I don't even know what it was that she rolled it on. Oh, it was skis?
Skis.
I don't understand.
Because everyone has skis in their house.
Of course. And then the fish? Did they deserve that?
The getting hammered? Sure.
they're gonna die. That's a fact.
Well, to be fair, they got eaten later in the movie anyway.
I said that. I said that. Gosh.
You did say that. Yes, she did throw champagne in the fish tank, and they would have all died.
Right. Anyways, okay, we've spent way too long on that. So let's move on. So the aliens are Damon Wayans, Jim Carrey, and Jeff Goldblum. They were looking for women. They saw like some kind of commercial or something, it seems like, on TV or something. And they...
For Finland?
Right. For Finland. And
the
then...
capital of Norway.
That's
Let
said
Let that sink in for a second.
Okay,
that's this kind of movie.
Okay, but that's mentioned later. But anyway, Geena Davis says that, if anyone's wondering. But anyway, they're looking for women. They find Geena Davis laying outside her pool. Something malfunctions. They press the wrong button. Something, I don't know. And then they end up in her pool. And she swims underwater for no one knows what reason to like...
Because she thinks she's hallucinating and she'll swim right through it, and then she knocks herself unconscious.
Yeah.
It's that kind of movie.
Right. And then they save her. And then they decide to come out of the pool so that the pool can be drained, because apparently when the pool's drained, now they can suddenly blast off. Don't really know. Don't understand.
Well, they have to get under like a car to change the oil, or...
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, Jim Carrey later in the movie is underneath the spaceship on a skateboard fixing something.
And did the blasters not work underwater? Is that why?
Darling, I didn't write this movie. Why is this on me? This movie came out when I was 2 years old.
I mean, I was 0, so this is fine. But anyway, moving on. So they end up coming in the house. They find out they're really weird. They can speak English by repetition. They can, like, say what you say.
And they can mimic all sounds after hearing it only once.
Yeah, it's almost like they record it and repeat it.
It's almost like it's a very, like, high-functioning alien parrot, essentially.
Yeah, so they do that, and then it seems that as they go along, they actually learn how to interact, because then they start having conversations without repeating.
Yes.
So, I don't know how that works. Apparently, they are very quick learners. Like, I mean, impressive.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That made no sense. That was a big, gigantic plot hole.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so...
In a movie of plot holes, this happened to be a plot hole.
Right. So, do you have anything to say about, like, them being in the house or any of those things?
Well, they ate the fish.
They ate the fish, and then the skeleton of the fish, is that... So, that skeleton of fish is what you see, like, when cats in cartoons eat a fish. Is that really what a fish skeleton looks like? Because
yeah.
Just like that?
Well, most of them aren't articulated that perfectly.
Well, right. It just seems weird, because that's exactly what you see in a cartoon.
Well,
and
you would see something very close to that if you had, like, a fish skeleton. But that takes a lot of effort. Those bones are tiny and very fragile.
And apparently you could just...
No. Although I will say, I might prefer the fish from the fish tank over non-fat Pop-Tarts.
Did non-fat Pop-Tarts get mentioned? I don't remember that part.
She did. She said, I have instant Jell-O, just add water, too much effort. And she said, I have low-fat Pop-Tarts.
What are low-fat? I don't even... That's a thing?
Apparently in the 80s it was a thing.
Oh. I didn't know that.
I wrote it down. I'd rather eat the fish than the low-cal Pop-Tarts.
Now I need to look up low-cal Pop-Tarts. I didn't know there was a thing. But anyway, so after this, she decides that she has to make them more normal, because they're, I don't think we've mentioned
they're
that
furries.
I don't think we mentioned that they were furry. They're different colored, too. One's red, one's blue, and one's...
Which also doesn't make sense. If they're all aliens from the same planet, wouldn't they all be the same color fur?
I don't know, because now you're getting into really weird...
Alien racism?
I just was like, do we want to go there?
Can it be racism if I'm just asking a question?
Well, so, I mean, we don't know if they're all from the same planet, do we?
Well, they all look the same except for the different color fur.
Okay, but, so there could be nationalities.
I mean, okay,
in another
sure. I guess that's fine. That's a little bit deeper than this movie should be given credit for, I feel.
What was it, red, blue, and green?
No, red, blue, and yellow.
Red, blue, and yellow, okay. Okay, well, let's just say they're different nationalities.
Sure.
Because the people underneath, I think, what's Jeff Goldblum's nationality?
I don't know.
He looks like he's got a nationality. Like, I don't know, Italian or something? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't have an answer, darling.
Well, if he is Italian or something like that, then they're all different nationalities.
Yes, and the barber or the manicurist that makes them over, kind of racist.
Oh, yeah, when Damon Wayans mimicked what she said in her voice.
Oh my God, you're like totally black?
Yes.
That would have picketers and rioters if this movie was released now.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, there wasn't a lot of controversial content like that in the movie.
No.
It was pretty...
More sexual, questionable.
Yeah. But, I mean, in that regard, that was pretty much it.
Yeah. And before they get shaved, Jeff Goldblum is holding a cigarette, which is awfully daring in a person that has a full fur suit.
It's so weird to see people hold cigarettes in movies because, like, this barely happens now.
Well, and he's in a fursuit. That would be terrifying.
True.
I don't want to get lit on fire. Thank you very much.
Now, when they get shaved, it's clear that Jeff Goldblum is the hot one. But is that, like, true to real life? Like now? Like, is Jeff Goldblum hotter than both Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So I do think Jeff Goldblum's attractive. I do.
In this movie or
in this movie, but and I don't know that Jim Carrey is attractive, but Damon Wayans, he's like reasonably attractive.
Darling, I'm a straight man. I'm not the best opinion on this film. It was just weird
how like she like, oh my God, like he's not what I would picture as a heartthrob by any means.
Well, he was. I mean, Jim Carrey's like 20 in this movie. He's very young.
Not his first movie, by the way, which everyone says on every forum, and it is not his first movie. He actually did like 5 movies before this.
Yes, but he's still something like 20, so he's coming into being an adult, really, almost. Like, he's almost like a teenager, essentially.
Okay.
And he looks very
But he is adorable in this movie.
He's very creepy in this movie.
He is very creepy, but look-wise, without him, like...
Oh, he looks like he's 12.
He's adorable.
He's adorable appearance-wise, but he's very creepy.
Right. Okay, so we have to move through the rest of it kind of fast because
we're just getting sidetracked like a son of a bitch. So they're driving really close to cars in that scene, in a studio set where they're like... driving.
Okay, so a pop star makes a cameo appearance. They're in a gas station. They end up by accident robbing the station because they had a kid's toy gun with them and they were asking for things because they don't know how to buy things and they thought they were being held up. The cops came, they decided to escape, and they drive the wrong way on a highway. And
they somehow don't crash, and they crash into a donut. How was that car being held in place? Because it was not held in place.
In the donut?
Yeah.
Plot hole number 5,000...
Yes. They also have a dance-off, randomly.
Oh, yes, they do. They do have a dance-off.
That was a really cool cane trick that they both did. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, that part of was...
You figured out what our punishment's going to be. Do the cane trick.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do
it. You said it. I mean, everybody, if you want the punishment for this movie to be...
No, stop it.
We have to do
stop.
A cane
no,
trick,
stop.
Just let us know. Hashtag Blame Tyler.
Stop that. No. So, other than, like, the main actors, there was really bad acting in this movie. Like, phenomenally bad.
Yeah, there was a part in it when, like, the doctor was, like, leaving the house or something, and you were like, well, this is basically porno acting.
Yeah, it was basically bad porno acting. And...
Do you think, though, it was intentional?
It has to be, right? Like...
Well, okay, like, the song, Because I'm a Blonde, like, they knew how ridiculous that was. They had to have been... purposely being obnoxiously out there, right? Like, they had to have been.
I mean, the 80s, I didn't grow up in the 80s, so I have no frame of reference, but they can't have been that different and out there, right?
I mean, judging by their fashion choices, maybe.
And hair. This movie was so 80s it hurt.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, judging by that, it's a possibility. It is a real possibility.
In all these movies where aliens come down to Earth and then fall in love with either men or women on the planet, why are we just making that leap that they all have matching genitals?
I knew this was going to come up.
Yeah, it has to be talked about. How in the hell do any aliens that come down to have relations with men or women, regardless, how does that does not work?
Right. They have 2 hearts, apparently, in this movie. Or 2 heartbeats. I'm assuming that means 2 hearts, but whatever. But yes. And also, how does he know how to do it? Like,
right. They might have a completely different process.
I mean, I would assume, like, there would be something different. Like, I don't know, but it was weird. Like, all of a sudden, he became, like, Casablanca or something.
Well, different species of animals on the planet have different reproduction methods. And that's just this one planet. How are we going to expect that is not also the case?
I mean, I will say, that sex scene, was trippy as heck. So maybe all of those
maybe they didn't actually have sex and he just convinced her that they had sex?
Maybe it was the love touch, and he did the love touch, and then in her head, she was imagining what she pictured as sex.
We figured it out.
I know.
We solved their own plot hole for them.
High five.
Excellent.
Anyways, so the rest of the movie, honestly, is just a lot of, like, weird, like the Jim Carrey with his long tongue situation.
It seems like a ham-fisted just cram everything in there that we can. Like, they have the stereotypical cops with the donuts. We have the surfer beach bum guy that cleans the pool. Like, there were so many stereotypes that it was just...
It's almost like a question of, was this kind of a parody of sorts? Like, making fun of, like, other things in the 80s? But when I looked it up, I couldn't find anything about that.
I don't know.
I did find out that this movie did go on to be a Broadway thing. It didn't do super well because apparently it came out a few days after 9/11, so timing wasn't wonderful.
Not great?
Yeah. The only other thing I really did want to say was this was the Robbie the Robot's last appearance for films for quite a long time. He did pop up again in the 2000s, but for a while, this was his last appearance.
Robbie the Robot?
Yeah, he was in Gremlins. He was in, you knew one of them, you said.
Lost in Space?
Yeah.
Ah.
So, he was apparently an icon in the 80s. He even got inducted into the Robot Hall of Fame.
Which, can we just talk about, there's a Robot Hall of Fame and I didn't know that?
Apparently there's only like 30 inductees, but still pretty cool. Comes out of Pennsylvania. Don't know.
All right. Road trip?
Yeah, I'm in. I don't know if it's a physical location, but we can find out. It's not that far.
Can we just talk about how he's never living Dr. Love down?
Dr. Love.
That
another porno reference?
Oh, yeah. Like so many porno references. And then there was one actress, not Geena Davis, but the other girl. She was in like 7 different movies that had porno titles. I looked them up. They were really bad. Like,
oh, you're talking about the one that I thought was Johnny Depp's wife.
Yes.
I mean, no. Johnny Depp's. Tim Burton's wife.
Yes.
I don't know why that came out of my mouth.
But, well, they're in all of the movies together.
Yeah, it's...
The all of the movies.
Apparently my brain goes Johnny Depp and Tim Burton.
Yeah.
So who knew?
But so many. I don't even have any of them written down, but they're like really inappropriate names for movies.
So apparently if you want like some kind of a little joke of how many porno names can you find, you're going to look up this girl on IMDb.
It's like 12. If you want to win a bet, the actress in so many non-pornos that sound like pornos, it's this woman.
Okay, and do you have any other things? Because I had one other thing that I wanted to...
I just have random trivia after this, really.
Okay. So we forgot to do Audience Ask this week, and by forgot I mean I just literally just didn't post it because I just didn't get around to it. Our schedule's been crazy. So, yeah, sorry about that. Next week we'll do double.
Hashtag blame Shay.
Yeah, seriously, that was totally on me. Next week we will do 4 instead of 2 because I suck. But we are going to be doing a challenge for this, and I think what we're going to be doing for a challenge is who can make the best, what was it called again? Alaskan polar bear. And this drink is actually a callback to The Nutty Professor. I guess The Nutty Professor was made before this because there were other references to it. So I'm assuming it's not The Nutty Professor I was thinking of.
The original Nutty Professor. Right. It's not the one with Eddie Murphy.
Right. So the Alaskan polar bear has a lot of alcohol, but the questionable ingredient in this is vinegar. Now, it doesn't say what kind of vinegar. I'm assuming rice vinegar, but I don't know.
Red wine vinegar?
I don't know. So if anybody knows, can you let us know? Because if we do make these...
So how are we going to grade that? Because...
I'm thinking of maybe either having a third person who tries them and assumes, like maybe Joe, because everyone's been asking for him to come back. So maybe Joe. Joe, if you're listening, let us know if you want to do it, because...
Yeah, Joe, do you want free booze?
Basically, because it's going to be expensive as hell, and we're paying for it, so... Anyway, so that was my thought. Have a third person. I don't drink alcohol anyway, so mine's probably going to be terrible because I can't taste my own. So, but I thought that would be a fun thing to do. It does look pretty gross, though. Not going to lie.
It'll be interesting. I have one other thing that we have to talk about. Just because I'm getting married doesn't mean I can't date. That line is just astoundingly bad. He
says that to a girl on the phone.
While she is in the background somewhere, just can't hear him.
Yes. I'm assuming...
Super shitty.
I have to assume that it's making fun of the trope that, men are always cheating on women.
I mean, I guess, but that's astoundingly crappy.
It is. He played the typical horrible man. But it's funny because this is right around the time period when Harry Met Sally came out. So I feel like that has to contribute to why this movie didn't do that well in the box office. Because, they were kind of floating that, really sweet love high and then this.
Yeah. That's
so,
fair.
I don't know. I don't know why it didn't do well. I know that now it is a cult classic because Jim Carrey got such fame that people started going back and watching it. So, anyway. So, I don't think I have a ton else that I need to really talk about in this movie. Just kind of scrolling to see. Oh, the sushi is an aphrodisiac situation. Sushi, aphrodisiac, that whole... I don't...
That thing that you wanted to talk about?
Yes, that thing with the thing
Wikipedia,
in the face.
that is terrible?
It wasn't Wikipedia. I looked up, is sushi...
Sushi.
I can't do it.
It's really not that hard.
Is sushi an aphrodisiac? And the answer was, there isn't any formal research to support it, but many sushi lovers believe that the sensual pleasure of slippery, cool fish over perfectly cooked rice can be a prelude to saucier things. Why did anybody write that sentence is what I want to know. Like, the slippery, cool fish?
That person is clearly a sexual deviant and a pervert.
I just picture, taking cold fish and dropping it all over your body and being turned on by that. That's what comes into my mind, and that does not seem like an aphrodisiac for me. Unless I was a cat. Just saying. So did a cat write that, is all I want to know.
I have a couple random things that I'm going to throw in there. Didn't you know the actors that played Woody and Ted, the doctor, originally were cast opposite?
Oh, interesting.
And they switched somehow. Geena Davis is from Wareham.
Oh, right. So the 7 Degrees of Massachusetts strikes again.
It's 1 degree of Massachusetts. All of our movies somehow relate back to
Wait, Thoroughbreds didn't, which was our last movie.
It was shot in Mass.
Magnificent Seven was our last movie, and that one didn't have any.
I'm sure there's one if we looked hard enough.
Anybody want to shoot us a connection to Mass?
One of the actors has to have been born in Mass. Or something.
Because I think that's one of our only movies that doesn't have a connection. So if you have one, let us know.
Geena Davis is basically a superhuman.
Okay, why is she a superhuman?
Well, she's in Mensa. She's supermodel attractive, and
is Geena Davis supermodel attractive?
She killed that bathing suit, which was sexy.
You are a body guy all the way. You do not care what someone's face looks like. You do not.
She has an attractive face.
But you don't. You don't.
The bathing suit was way better than the lingerie.
If a girl is overweight, you care.
Oh my god!
Just saying. It's just
She also almost made the Olympics for archery.
So she's amazing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she's basically an Amazon.
So Geena Davis, please don't hit him up because apparently I should be worried.
She also worked as a window mannequin. I didn't know that was a job.
When you researched the movie, did you just research Geena Davis?
No, I researched Jeff Goldblum. He's in a jazz band.
Do you see the length of lists one outweighs the other?
Jeff Goldblum and Geena Davis got married.
It's still on the Geena Davis list.
I
think somebody typed in, I love Geena Davis, tell me all the things about her.
That's not what happened. Jeff Goldblum was in a different movie, Death Wish, with an actor by the name of Charles Bronson. And that's
Charles Bronson, isn't he the guy that's in that creepy movie that I really want to see?
No, that's Tom Hardy in the movie Bronson.
Oh, that could be true.
Yes, that is true. The reason I bring it up at all is Charles Bronson was in the original Magnificent Seven.
Oh, I like it when you're harkening it back.
Yeah.
Good job.
So,
all the Geena Davis stuff makes me a little jealous, but the rest of it, good job.
Well, he's also Charles Bronson's also in a bunch of other great movies. I think he's in The Great Escape, if I remember correctly, which is a fantastic movie with Steve McQueen.
Okay. Obviously, you're talking really fast because you know we're at the end. So do you have anything else you want to say? Because you're creeping me out with the fast talking.
I'm sorry. Anything else? Jeff Goldblum went out with Laura Dern after married to Geena Davis, or being married to Geena Davis.
I don't know who Laura Durham is.
She's the blonde from Jurassic Park. Apparently, one of Geena Davis's other ex-husbands also went out with Laura Dern.
Ooh, that's awful.
So she got followed up by the same person. Like, that's rough.
Sloppy seconds times 2. Ooh.
Well, that's the only other thing I got.
And this was supposed to be a short one because before we started this, we said we don't have a lot to talk about with this movie.
We don't have a lot to talk about. We were vamping for 35 minutes. Maybe 20.
Anyways, so what is your movie choice for next week? Do you even remember?
I don't even know. I don't know at all.
Of course he doesn't.
We also have to do our rating for the movie as well.
So what do you rate the movie?
For the cast that it has, I'm going to say 6. Charitably.
I was giving it a 5. I love Jeff Goldblum and I love seeing like Jim Carrey and stuff like starting out and Geena Davis is just amazing anyways. But I have no idea what happened in this movie.
God, it was a mishmash train wreck. It really was.
Yeah, I guess for nostalgia, I can, but
it was really.
I just didn't understand it.
Mediocre at best. I'm going to be honest. It's the worst movie that each one of those actors has ever been in, basically.
Basically. So, anyways, what's your movie next week?
It's apparently The Dark Knight.
So, you picked this movie.
Yes, because an idiot from the internet,
Matt Lewinsky, who is one of our biggest listeners and talks to us all of the time.
also an idiot.
What happened?
Well, he said that Heath Ledger is the worst Joker ever, which is just categorically false. And he said he was worse than Jared Leto from Suicide Squad. And everyone knows that you can immediately discount that opinion.
So anyways, this was spawned from our 10 Things I Hate About You podcast episode. If you want to go back and listen to that. Discussion happened on Twitter. If you want to follow us, CinematicallyC, you can see all these discussions happen. And Tyler got enraged about this and decided that we needed...
He's just absolutely wrong.
As you can see, so he decided we needed to do the movie to basically prove him wrong. So that's what we're doing next week.
You're wrong. Fight me in real life.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening, Matt, because I don't want you to stop because Tyler's terrible. So, Team Queen Shay, as you would like to say.
No.
Yes. Anyway, so thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week for Dark Knight, and I promise we will have a YouTube video up by the end of the week. We did record it, but I just haven't edited it because I just don't have the time. But by Friday, it will be up.
And thanks to Jake
at Office Music for our intro and outro.